What's the weirdest thing a guest has done at your house? I threw a New Year's party once. Someone I invited brought a group of people who I knew, but didn't exactly enjoy the company of. Sometime around 1 AM, I noticed that my keepsake urn necklace containing my brother's ashes was missing. Then, I discover a couple of small lines of powder-like material in lines on my bathroom counter. The fuckers had tried to snort my brother and stole the necklace his remains were in. I was livid. He said he needed to look up something on internet, so I lended him my laptop. He then proceeds to watch porn on my couch while I'm 6 feet away from him. I took the laptop back. Way too many of these involve shitting, and I'm never letting anyone in my bathroom again. Had a former friend visit me from overseas and literally disappear overnight to go and fuck some guy she'd been talking to online, leaving me to field a call from her husband, who wanted to know why his wife wasn't answering her mobile. Throwing out my toilet bin because he shit himself while peeing, so he needed to throw out his boxers and I guess my toilet bin too. Wipe their ass on the white sink hand towel after taking a shit. Had plenty of available toilet paper. Called them out for it, they denied it, so I never invited them over again. My mom made a friend at her church who was in need of a place to stay, and we had a spare room. She ended up drinking about 25 bottles of my mom's wine in 1 week and ruining the mattress and rug with reddish brown hair dye that we thought was blood for a long time. My friend treated my house like it was his own hotel room. I thought was coming to visit me and we'd coordinate for stuff to do, but it turns out he just wanted to save money on a place to sleep. He had his own plans and didn't tell me about any of them until he got to my place. And he even tried getting his other friends in the area to sleep at my place. I hadn't seen him in years too. So I was disappointed that I planned my holiday weekend around my friend, but he had other plans. Wasn't my house, was a friend's. We had been invited over to drink and stay the night. We sat in the garden, talked and drank, and then one of our friends excused himself to the bathroom. He was gone for about 20 minutes until another friend said he will go check on him. He came back down 5 minutes later laughing his ass off. The dude had gone upstairs and ran a bubble bath from himself, lit a few candles and even had a floating duck. The friend hosting was a cool guy and wasn't angry as we were all friends. Ate the dog's pellets. The bag was nearly full before she came and was half full when she left. My uncle, aunt, and my mom traveled from another country to visit while I was in college. They stayed in my place. I had to leave for a class in the morning and left them in the house to chill. When I came back from my class, my uncle had shaved my Shinpoo's legs down, thinking he did me a favor. My fluffy cute dog looked so ugly with naked legs. What's worse? He somehow only shaved 3 and forgot the 4th leg. One time my parents invited some of their friends over. They had 2 kids, a couple years younger than me and my brothers, a boy and a girl. Since I'm the only girl in my family, I was forced to play with the girl. I showed her around my room and stupidly showed her my stash of Nutella. After a few hours of playing Minecraft in my lounge room, she goes to the bathroom. She was taking pretty long, so I went to check on her, but she came out of my bedroom, Nutella on her face. I go into my room and check my stash to find one of my Nutella jars empty. I'm never rude to guests, so I'll let it slip by. I've never let her in my room ever since then. One day my mum, stepdad and I and 2 of mum's friends were at my complex pool showing her friends around our new complex. Her male friend said he needed to go to the bathroom while we were down in the pool area, so we showed him to the toilets and he went into the disabled bathroom. Well, we are not sure what he did in there, but he was in there for a long time and we are assuming he shat all over the walls or missed the toilet. Someone went in after him and walked straight out and got a security guard in shortly after. The toilet was completely blocked off and was being cleaned out and was still closed for cleaning and maintenance 3 days after it happened. When I was a kid, I had one of my friends over for dinner. We passed a pot of macaroni around the table, scooping it onto our plates with a wooden spoon. I don't know if he just wasn't paying attention or what, but the pot got to him and he just sat it on his plate and began eating the macaroni directly out of the pot with a wooden spoon. I looked at my mom and she was like, oh. It was me. I was visiting my brother and sis-in-law at their fancy new apartment and I took a smelly shit. They had candles in there for just that sort of thing, so I lit two and hung around while the scent worked its magic. Not sure how, but I didn't notice the black smoke coming from the candles was leaving black streaks on the walls. I blew out the candles and tried to clean the walls. TP didn't work, so I used their white fancy towels. It still didn't work, but I ruined those towels trying. Eventually there was no escape but to fess up, so I did and was mortified. I used to have a friend who would always come over to take a shower. When I asked him about it, he told me he preferred my bathroom over him's. My roommate had the drummer figures of his band over. Dude heats up the metal end of his lighter and just sticks it on my ankle, sober. Burned the hell out of me. Didn't say a word or acted like it was anything but innocent and amusing. I had never met the prick before. Between fight, flight or freeze response, I've never been a freeze except for that day. Genuinely shocked. First college party. A girl drank one beer and started acting like she was SOOO wasted. Got fully naked and sat on my papa's and chair. One of the most embarrassingly attention-seeking people I've ever met, lol. I was the guest in this one, but once I fertilized a British couple's rose garden by puking a gallon of red wine and truffle stew all over it. I'm not welcome back. An old neighbor got drunk at a poker game at my house. She then went into my bathroom, left the door open, and peed on the bath mat. My friend walked in on it, and the neighbor said it was because she couldn't find the light switch. The hall light was on, which fully lit up this tiny bathroom. My cousin came to visit me and brought a friend. He looked like a junkie 10 minutes after they arrived. His friend was looking really nervous, got up and pulled down every blind in my lounge room and was peering from behind out the window and asking me if I was expecting anyone or if anyone usually comes down my driveway. I honestly thought he was about to murder me. My cousin then asked me if he and his friend could smoke. I said yes, thinking they were talking about cigarettes, and then proceeded to pull out a crack pipe and start smoking meth. They then told me about how they drove for 2 hours at 180 km/h to get on a huge amount of meth and wanted to try it out. I couldn't get them out of my house fast enough. Called it free lodging and calmed meals and didn't flush the toilet. Left wrappers under the guest bed. Refused to carry their own luggage. Took the sample Mach 5 razor, it was new, and they had sent the whole neighborhood a full-size sample out of my mailbox. Then shaved all his pubes with it and leave them in my shower drain. Then proceeded to lie to my face about it, as if the pubes magically appeared on the very same day. Everyone in the neighborhood got a new free razor in the mail except for me. Give people free tattoos. No, he doesn't do tattoos. The kit was from Amazon. When I was 14, my landlord came to our apartment to fix the toilet and he took his pants off and did the whole thing in his boxers. I was alone with my mom and ignored him, but it was weird, and when I told my dad, he was furious. The landlord said he was going to a wedding later and didn't want to dirty his pants, but it was so fucking weird that he just did it and never explained himself until my dad screamed on him. Ejaculated upon the lens of my favorite torch. Took my washing basket when they left. I recently had a grown-ass man snort a line of Parmesan cheese like it was cocaine. He was completely sober and this was totally unprompted. A grown man in our house for the first and last time. College academic team gathering. This was not a family friend. Marked his height on our children's wooden growth chart in permanent Sharpie marker. A girl that I barely knew flushed down one of these smell good thingies that sits on the edge of a toilet. Whole bathroom floor had to be ripped up and the pipes needed to be fixed. Took the biggest fucking shit you can imagine. Turd was so big it wouldn't flush. Made a land bridge right across the bowel, so she covered it with a ton of TP and then sprinkled perfume all over it to mask the smell. Small chick too. This guy had previously tried to kill himself by drinking some type of acid, something corrosive, and lost his esophagus. He came to my city for some surgeries and my mom offered for him and his family to stay in our house. They ended up staying for months. He fed himself through a gastrostomy, but would still sit at the table with us during meals chewing his food and spitting it into a bowl. Then he would proceed to cough and clear his throat and spit up pieces of food in the bathroom sink. Tough couple of months. In college, a girl who was the friend of friend had a bad breakup earlier in the day. Proceeded to get wasted and start crying. I let out some alone time in my room to get it out during a party. Went to go to bed later and realized she had pissed in my bed and soaked my mattress foam. I threw it away and she bought me a new one the next day, so not that bad. Didn't want to make her feel bad, so my ex that knew her better than I did talked to her about the whole thing and worked it out, lol. I knew she was a spoiled rich girl, but geez, just walk like 5 feet out my door and take a piss. Brought their small dogs to lunch. Dogs then used our kitchen floor as a toilet and they proceeded to blame my toilet trained and fully dressed small child. Says she was a vegan, so only brought with her some seeds, nuts, etc., but cooked and ate my pork chops before I got home from work. She had no company over, so it was her. My friend just told me the story of a guy who got blind drunk at his house and took a dump on top of his freestanding fireplace while it was on. I can't imagine how bad that would have smelled. Same dude had a problem pissing in random spots of houses that weren't the toilet. I've met the guy. Seems really nice. No fucking way he's getting anywhere near my house though. Get too high on acid and stuck on a loop of their undying love and lust for me and my partner while their monogamous roidhead BF, also on acid, got more and more angry. It obviously wasn't on purpose. However, that doesn't make it any less weird. My ex-girlfriend took a crap in my parents' bathroom and she pressed flush after it didn't go down the first time. Cue stream of shit water and toilet paper flooding the floor, getting in the air vent, and spilling out into the hallway. She was inconsolable and couldn't bring herself to come over to my parents' house ever again. She never saw them after that. A friend of my wife stayed with us for a few weeks while she was trying to find her own place. This friend would just leave cabinets open. Kitchen, bathroom, didn't matter. If she needed something that was inside a cabinet, she would not close the door once she retrieved it. New Year's Eve party. He got super drunk and lecherous, wouldn't leave my housemate's GF alone. Kept putting his arms round her and stuff. I told him that if he touched her again he was leaving, and he got mad at me and said, "Look at her, how do you expect me not to touch her? Sure, she's pretty and I think we all have a bit of a crush on her, but none of us are touching her up or being creepy assholes." MF makes my skin crawl. Peed on the bathroom floor. Dude didn't even wipe it. Pulled out his erect penis, put a crab claw on it, and proclaimed Spartacus really loudly.